San Francisco is a spectacular, fun city on the central coast of California, about 350 miles from LA. It's bursting with a youthful energy that will guarantee you have an amazing and unforgettable adventure. On the northern end of the San Francisco Peninsula, the city invites you to explore hip neighborhoods, elegant buildings, beautiful parks and gardens, and enjoy a liberal, relaxed atmosphere. And there's no end of things to see. Union Square, in the heart of downtown, is San Francisco's finest shopping region. The neighborhood is famous for wide streets, clanging cable cars, and some amazing shopping. And don't forget about the square itself, which is a great place to sit back, relax, and do some serious people watching. Just a few minutes north, San Francisco's Chinatown is 8 blocks of bustling activity with storefronts and alleyways selling all manner of strange and exotic goods. One of the largest Chinese communities in the U.S., San Francisco's Chinatown is filled with exotic sights and sounds and a little bit of Eastern mystique. Less than a mile to the east, the Embarcadero is a busy waterfront roadway that runs right around the port area with some of San Francisco's most famous landmarks, including Market Street, the Bay Bridge, and the San Francisco Ferry Building. Fisherman's Wharf is at the northern end of the Embarcadero and has a great assortment of shops, bars, and restaurants, and is right on the bay. Here you can grab a relaxed meal and a cool drink and be entertained by colorful street performers or just enjoy the views along the waterfront. A short stroll away is Pier 39, which has some of the best views of San Francisco Bay and a resident sea lion community that has been basking in the sun at the pier for more than 20 years. The island fortress of Alcatraz sits ominously in the bay and is now a popular attraction, with tours departing from Fisherman's Wharf several times a day. Up until 1963, the Rock was home to America's hardest prisoners, but where there was once only concrete, steel, and barbed wire, there are now gardens and wildflowers. If you listen carefully, the eerie passages and cramped cells still echo with footsteps from the past. Not far from downtown is the Haight-Ashbury district, where Victorian-style buildings echo with memories of the hippie days of the 60s. There are still many pockets of counterculture where the summer of love lives on, and cafes, smoke shops, and music stores still sell peace and love. Halfway between Fisherman's Wharf and the Golden Gate Bridge is the Palace of Fine Arts. A survivor from the 1915 Panama Pacific Expo and built in the Beaux Arts style, it's covered in greenery and surrounded by a peaceful lagoon. It's a perfect place for a quiet afternoon stroll. At more than 1,000 acres, Golden Gate Park stretches almost halfway across the peninsula and contains the Conservatory of Flowers and the tranquil Japanese tea garden. The park is the perfect place to enjoy the outdoors or just relax and recharge in some peaceful surroundings. The Golden Gate Bridge sits majestically over the mouth of the bay and invites millions of visitors to the city each year. Almost 2 miles long and 750 feet high, the Golden Gate Bridge connects San Francisco to the nearby Marin headlands. The pedestrian walkway spanning the length of the bridge is a superb way to see sweeping views across the bay and out over the Pacific Ocean. Baker Beach is located just to the west of the Golden Gate Bridge and has spectacular views across the mouth of the bay to the distant Marin headlands. It enjoys a reputation as San Francisco's best sandy beach, but the views alone are worth the trip. Just north of San Francisco in Marin County, the ancient redwoods of Muir Woods National Monument tower up to 260 feet high, with some dating back almost 800 years. Local rangers can provide guided tours along pathways that loop through the forest, or visitors can enjoy the hushed sounds of nature and explore one of America's natural treasures at their own pace. On the eastern side of Marin County is the charming bayside hamlet of Sausalito. In its early days, it was a small artist colony, but now it's a relaxed bayside community filled with cafes and art galleries. A short stroll down any street will bring you to some of the most beautiful views across the bay. And over there, in the distance, beckoning like a siren song, is dazzling San Francisco, tempting you back for another taste. A temptation you'll find hard to resist.
Los Angeles is situated in Southern California on the west coast of the USA. Home to 18 million people, Los Angeles is a collection of distinct cities that rolls out from the dry Santa Monica Mountains to the Pacific Ocean. LA's sunshine, her entertainment industry, and her openness to newcomers and new ideas has made the city a magnet to dreamers. Many of those whose dreams become reality, like Walt Disney and John Paul Getty, poured their wealth back into the city, helping make LA one of the great culture capitals of the world. Downtown Los Angeles is a center of global business and home to some of the finest examples of American civic architecture. It's also the birthplace of the city. Wander down Olvera Street, one of the oldest surviving areas in LA, to experience the colors and tastes of Old Mexico. Just across the road from Olvera Street is Union Station, one of the world's great railway stations. You'll be forgiven if you experience a sense of déjà vu here. Union Station has been featured in almost 30 big-budget movies, including Pearl Harbor and Blade Runner. Stroll south to Little Tokyo, or J-Town as the locals know it, which is home to Buddhist temples, galleries, and museums. While you're there, why not try some super fresh sushi? After all, the California roll was invented right here. Half a mile to the west is the Walt Disney Music Hall. Looking like pieces of sheet music thrown to the wind, this stainless steel wonder is home to LA's Philharmonic Orchestra. Hail a taxi for the short ride west to the Los Angeles County Museum of Art. The 100-piece collection at LACMA houses works that span the ages, from the classical periods through the edgiest street art. Right next door is a very different kind of gallery. At the La Brea Tar Pits and George C. Page Museum, remains of incredibly preserved mammals, insects, and plants are continually excavated and brought once more into the Californian sunshine. Heading further west along Wilshire Boulevard, the aroma changes from the smell of tar pits to money. Welcome to Rodeo Drive in the heart of Beverly Hills. This is the world's most expensive and exclusive 3 blocks of shopping. But you don't have to be a star to enjoy Rodeo Drive. Most folks are content to window shop. But there's more to Beverly Hills than just bling. Only a street or two away awaits a world of leafy boulevards and incredible homes and gardens. Head north to Hollywood, the epicenter of the world's entertainment industry. Track down your favorite star on the historic Hollywood Walk of Fame and catch a movie at Grauman's Chinese Theater, the most famous first-run movie theater in the world. Take a walk on the wilder side of LA to West Hollywood. WeHo is a haven for artists and designers. As evening falls, boogie on down to Sunset Strip, home to iconic clubs such as the Viper Room and the Whiskey A Go Go. Griffith Park is the largest and wildest urban park in America. Here, perched high on the slopes of Mount Hollywood and offering superb views of LA, you'll find the Griffith Observatory. Built on land donated by mining magnate Griffith J. Griffith, admission to the main building and grounds is still free of charge, according to his wishes. Universal Studios is the oldest continually running movie studio in America. It features a theme park based around its blockbuster movies and popular TV shows. However, the star attraction is the Studio Tour, which winds its way through acres of sound stages and backlots. And if you have that sense of déjà vu again, it's no wonder. Some of the sets have been featured in dozens of movies and are still in use today. "20 miles southeast of downtown is Knott's Berry Farm. Originally a berry farm in the 1930s, this theme park has grown into a family favorite with child-friendly rides, short queues, and offers a real taste of America's pioneering heritage. Just down the road in Anaheim is Disneyland Park. Since its opening in 1955, over 600 million guests have delighted in seeing Disney's much-loved characters brought to life. The Port of Los Angeles, the biggest container port in the USA, sits on San Pedro Bay. Climb aboard the USS Iowa, a World War II battleship which saw service in some of the most dramatic episodes in world history. Nearby, at the Aquarium of the Pacific, 500 marine species sway, swirl, and dive through the various marine systems of the vast Pacific, from the sun-drenched coast of Baja to the frigid waters of the Arctic. Long Beach was once the birthplace of California's surfing scene, but a breakwater has now tamed the wild waves, making the beach an ideal destination for families. From Long Beach, hop aboard a ferry and take a 1-hour trip to Catalina Island. Once the home of otter hunters, smugglers, and gold prospectors, these days, day trippers and weekenders are far more interested in working on their golden tans and escaping the frantic pace of the mainland. Heading west from LA, Santa Monica is one of the most popular resort towns in the U.S. Santa Monica epitomizes the California lifestyle of sun, sand, and the body beautiful. And right at her heart is her iconic pier. Things get a little funkier just down the coast at Venice Beach. Long the center of LA's counterculture, Venice is more than just a beach, however. The main attraction here is the promenade. So pull on your inline skates and join the colorful and sometimes bizarre human parade. After the craziness of Venice Beach, head 5 miles north to the tranquility of the Santa Monica Mountains. The Getty Center houses the extraordinary art collection of billionaire John Paul Getty. Water features prominently throughout the complex, encouraging quiet reflection. Hire a convertible and follow the scenic Pacific Coast Highway to Malibu. 21 miles of prime Californian coastline, scented with salt and coastal sage. Many of LA's stars live in homes that cling to these dramatic hillsides by the Pacific, which is the perfect metaphor for LA. A city built on an unshakable optimism and a devotion to creation, both human and natural. Welcome to the City of Angels.
Miami is a subtropical city located in the Sunshine State, Florida, in between the Everglades and the North Atlantic Ocean. Flying in over Biscayne Bay, you can spot the wonderful beaches that attract nearly 14 million visitors each year. Welcome to Florida's cultural center and the diverse mix that represents Miami. The palm tree-lined city is known for its stunning beaches, Art Deco district, Latin culture, and 24-hour lifestyle. It is the place to see and be seen. Even the zoo residents put on a show. This is as good as it gets if you are planning a holiday in the sun. The weather is warm year-round, and the city has many parks and some of the best beaches in the country. Miami is a cultural melting pot that attracts people from the colder north. Its mainly Hispanic residents and influx of South American visitors add Latin rhythm and Cuban cuisine to the mix. Away from the oceanfront, there is also an artistic, cultural side to this magic city. Find theaters on the Miracle Mile in Coral Gables, and modern art galleries downtown. Take in the moving sight of the Holocaust Memorial in Miami Beach, or watch the muralists at work in the Wynwood Arts District in the city's north. South of the city center stands a century-old landmark, the Vizcaya Museum. Step back in time in this opulent mansion with atrium and gardens and enjoy idyllic views of the bay. Across from here is the Seaquarium, where marine mammals will amaze you with their clever tricks. This is where Flipper lived, the smart dolphin from the TV show. On the other side of the bay are the barrier islands that offer everything Miami is famous for. White sand, palm trees, great tans, and VIP lifestyle is what it's all about here. The star attraction is Miami Beach. Its bustling promenade, dream cars, sun-adoring beach lovers, and colorful lifeguard towers have Miami written all over it. Touring on a sightseeing bus is a fun way to see the cultural and architectural hotspots on the island. Find hundreds of historic buildings in the pre-World War II Art Deco district in South Beach, which you can call SoBe once you're in the know. Take some time to stop at Lincoln Road Mall to browse the shops and markets. On your way back to the mainland, visit Jungle Island, where inquisitive wildcats and Florida's iconic pink flamingos are curious to meet you. Closer to the Everglades is another lush zoo, but this one is mainly for primates. Monkey Jungle's residents love hauling up the food you leave them and even collect treats from your outstretched hands. If you're lucky, you may receive some hugs and kisses as a reward. Also near the Everglades is Zoo Miami. It has cageless habitats with only a moat between you and the local species and more exotic animals. If you feel active, paddle over the bay around Key Biscayne, or bike along Crandon Boulevard. In between activities, you can lounge on the beach. Miami is one of those dream destinations that appeals to everyone. Its beach and party culture attracts singles, while couples will find romance in the alfresco restaurants and on the boulevards. And thanks to many fun attractions, Miami also gets the thumbs up from families with children. If you are in search of a good time in the Sunshine State, come to Miami to explore its long stretches of beaches, family-friendly zoos, and famous Art Deco district anytime you like.
Washington, D.C. is situated on the east coast of the USA, along the banks of the Potomac River. The city has an area of just under 70 square miles, but it sure packs a lot in. Washington was founded as the nation's capital in 1791. As soon as you land here, you get a sense of the power and history that this metropolis represents. Most visitors start at the National Mall, a 2-mile green strip often referred to as the nation's front lawn. Clearly, there's no shopping to be done at this mall. What it does offer is a sweep of the country's most famous monuments and museums all in one place. Begin your tour of the mall at the Zero Milestone, the proposed reference point for distances on all U.S. maps. To the north, you'll see America's most famous residence, the White House. To the south stands the Washington Monument. Rising 555 feet, this marble obelisk is the centerpiece of the National Mall. The U.S. Capitol Building, on top of Capitol Hill, is the nation's seat of federal government. Rest a while by the reflecting pool. Surrounded by America's most iconic tributes to its heroes and founding fathers, it's easy to let your mind wander back through the various chapters of America's history. Nestled in the trees is the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. Engraved in its walls are the names of tens of thousands of soldiers who lost their lives in the battlefields of Vietnam. The nearby Lincoln Memorial is where Martin Luther King Jr. made his famous "I Have a Dream" speech. Admire the many sculptures and waterfalls at the Franklin Delano Roosevelt Memorial, further along the mall. Across the tidal basin, Thomas Jefferson keeps a watchful eye on the White House from his own memorial, built in the style of ancient Rome. The mall is also home to many of the nation's Smithsonian buildings. To learn more about this interesting collection of museums and galleries, stop by at the Information Center in the Smithsonian Institution building called the Castle. The whole family will enjoy the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum, where you can let your imagination fly high among historic airplanes and spacecraft. Create your own headlines at the Newseum, an interactive museum dedicated to the world of news media. The Botanic Garden of the Capitol Building offers an escape from monuments and museums, but the mall is not the only attraction in D.C. To explore the many attractions outside of the mall, the convenient Capitol bike share system is available all over the city. In picture-perfect downtown neighborhoods such as DuPont Circle, browse bookstores by day and try the cafes by night. Another charming central suburb is Foggy Bottom, named after the fog that rises from the Potomac River. Here you'll find the Watergate Hotel and the Kennedy Center. Pass Washington Circle to get to Georgetown. With its 18th century buildings, it is the oldest district in D.C., and today, university students give it a lively atmosphere. Wisconsin Avenue and M Street offer many boutique stores and galleries. North from here is the National Cathedral, one of the largest churches in the United States. In the nearby Smithsonian National Zoo, the residents are sure to delight monument-weary children. Another family favorite is the International Spy Museum. Play undercover agent in an interactive game where nothing is as it seems. Just across the river in neighboring Virginia is the nation's most hallowed ground, Arlington National Cemetery. Wander among rows of tombstones dedicated to those who made the ultimate sacrifice for their country. President John F. Kennedy's final resting place, marked by an eternal flame, is one of the most visited graves. From Arlington House, you can look back over D.C. and its surrounding suburbs. Washington has a lot more to offer than the political buildings and stately monuments that it is so famous for. And no matter how often you've seen these landmarks in the news or in movies, nothing beats the real thing.